Hey guys, Xaryu here, and today I have some footage that you guys have been asking for a while. This is some Frost Mage RMP from the Mage point of view. I've given it from the Rogue point of view, and I've given it from the Priest point of view. I have not been playing too much of my Mage, but finally got a Mage, Frost Mage Q session in here for you guys, playing with Gex and Naj, and I'm playing Frost. I haven't played Frost in quite some time. As you guys know, I've been playing primarily Arcane. That's just because I think it's a little bit more fun right now, but I have been playing just a tiny bit of Frost when I can play RMP. And the number one question I get asked, or one of the number one questions I get asked on my stream is Frost still good? You know, no one, I don't see anyone playing Frost anymore. Is Frost still good? Guys, Frost is still, I'm going to pause this game so it doesn't get too out of hand, because I want to break it down for you guys. But Frost is still good, guys. It's just only good in RMP, right? You can pretty much only play RMP. So it's great when you're playing RMP, but when you're playing other stuff, it's not so great. And I'm not the biggest RMP player on my Mage. I love to play it on my Priest and my Rogue, but on my Mage, I like other comps a little bit more. So that's why I've been playing Arcane a little bit more, because I can play more comps. But anyway, now that we got that out of the way, we're fighting another RMP. They're playing with a Paladin, probably a little bit weaker version of our composition. So we should do pretty well against the Paladin version, I would say. We open Pally. I start Invis, and we open the Pally with that kidney shot. Pally pops ball immediately. I'm popping Orb. I'm not going to Ebon Bolt, I don't think. I'm not going to Veins. I'm just going to do a nice light Orb opener and see what kind of defensive cooldowns we can force out from the enemy team. Right away, throw that Mage onto my focus target, counterspell him. I do want to mention really quick, I am a Void Elf too, and I'm not Void Elf because it's good. I'm Void Elf because it looks cool. I would not recommend Void Elf. I think Human, if you're going to play Alliance, Human is much better. If you're going to play Horde, Orc is much better, or Blood Elf, much better. But Void Elf because it looks cool and it's new. But anyway, we got the Polymorph, or the Kidney into the Poly, into the Sap onto the Paladin, into that Blind, the Rogue Trinket, the Pally Trinket, and the Mage Trinketed, and the first Sacrifice comes out. So our opener is absolutely incredible. Right here, really important, guys. We have the diminishing returns already on the enemy. What I mean by that is I can't sheep the Pally right now because it's quarter. The Mage has already been stunned. I cannot stun the Mage. We cannot burst right now. Right now is the point in the game where we're pausing the game, essentially. We're waiting for the diminishing returns to come back, and we're waiting for our offensive cooldowns. What does this mean? This means I can sheep the Mage, I can sheep the Rogue. I do not want to sheep the Pally, sheep the Mage, sheep the Rogue, pause the game down, slow the game down until our next go. That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm sheeping the Mage over and over, collecting icicles with Frostbolt. Once again, what do I say? Frostbolt doesn't do damage, it builds damage. I'm building icicles right now. I'm building procs. I actually get sapped there. I'm going to actually rewind that. I don't actually know how I get sapped there. I'm in combat. I remember, I played this game yesterday. I was remember, like, that's kind of weird how I got sapped there. I'm in combat, casting Frostbolts, and I randomly drop. That must, I don't know if that's a sap bug or what, because I'm in combat again here. Very interesting. I might have dropped combat there for a second, but for some reason I do get sapped there. Don't have Orb quite yet. Comet Storm, Ice Nova onto the Mage, and they overlap Sack and Block, which is very unfortunate. That's going to be, you know, two of their major defensive cooldowns overlapped here, and I am forced to block. So a huge mistake, huge blunder on my part is I trinketed and ice blocked. I used two defensive cooldowns to peel their go right there, when I should have really just ice blocked, right? The trinket, I didn't have temp shield. I didn't have any other like defensive cooldowns really. I couldn't have like stopped any more damage, so the trinket was literally wasted when I could have trinketed to counterspell the Polymorph on the Priest to prevent the ice block in the first place, right? So that's what you want to do. You want to pair Trinket and Counterspell to counterspell the Mage in their Polymorph attempts, instead of trinketing and then having the ice block 2 seconds later. So big mistake by me, having used both the defensive cooldowns and when I should have just used my ice block cooldown. Having said that, we're still ahead. Priest gets blinded, he trinkets immediately, sapped out of that block. Jimmy Russell's getting those saps all over the place. Pretty nuts there. Stun onto the Paladin, stun onto the Mage. I'm resapped here for this setup, which is a little unfortunate. Might be one more sap. Finally get that combat. Go for that full sheep onto the Pally. And something I just want to point out real quick, guys. I'm casting Polymorph right here, and I aim my camera away from both the Mage, out of range of the Mage, so we can't counterspell me, and then kind of away from where the fight is happening to try to avoid the Rogue as well. I can see my Rogue is sapped. it's going to be very difficult for them to stop this polymorph. So I blink away completely out of town to avoid getting stopped here on this polymorph cast, and it does pay off as we do get that full polymorph. Now we orb out onto the mage. The Evan Bolt's being casted. Mage can't blink because I already counterspelled him an arcane, so the orb's pretty safe there. I do get smoke bombed here, very, very scary, and I do ice block at full HP. That was a call out from my priest to just block before I take any of that incoming damage. So I stay full HP so he doesn't have to top me back off. There's the kitty shot onto the paladin, cheap shots onto the mage. One or two more setups and we should be good to go to win this game. However, it's pretty scary defensively too. This game's very close because I have no ice blocks and no trinket, and my priest has no trinket. One more good setup by them, they could definitely win the game as well. So this is very, very back and forth at this point in the game. Mage doing a good job sheeping me. I'm just gathering icicles. Here it is. This is very scary. So kidney shot on my priest, polymorph on my rogue. I pop my temp shield because I want a pre-temp shield to go. I know the rogue is going to stun me, so I'm trying to pre-temp shield it. I do have a lot of shields, absorbs, a lot of buffs, so that's kind of what we're aiming at here. Pre-temp shield to go, should be healed back up to full HP. Now the fear coming out on the paladin, tons of damage coming out of the mage. Mage goes in the ice block, double blink once again, guys, to avoid the stop from the rogue here. Double blink, sheep the paladin off of that fear. He has no trigger for 4 seconds. The massive spell comes out on the frost mage's ice block. Paladin goes into that full sheep. Looks like we're gonna have enough damage to finish off this mage before the next 4 or 5 seconds when that paladin has trinket back available. But we'll see. Flurry comes in, Ice Lance comes in, Ice Nova comes in, another Ice Lance. Paladin's trinket just comes up, but we do manage to take out the mage just in time. That was a very, very back and forth game right there, guys. Here's the damage breakdown. Rogue coming up top. Then it was me, actually, so I was actually doing quite a bit of damage. The enemy team had to play much more defensively as their damage was a lot lower. And I think that a lot of that comes down to the Paladin versus the Priest. The Priest has that Mass Dispel. The Priest has that AoE Fear. The Priest matchup is definitely favored a little bit, but still, Rogue Mage versus Rogue Mage, definitely a fun match there. Let's hop into another one. Here's another match, guys, on Blade's Edge Arena versus these same guys. We fought them a couple times yesterday, and I really want to pinpoint that this matchup can be very, very fast, right? If the rogue trinkets, you can kill him in a bomb. If the mage, doesn't have trinket and we get a good go on to the mage, boom, massive spell, let's ice block off and kill him. This matchup, and the same thing could happen to us too, right? We could die in bombs. We could die. They don't have a massive spell, but we can die very, very quickly. Just because of the large amount of burst Rogue and Mage has. They do leave a gap there. I do get that temp shield off. I get spell stolen, and I get put back to full HP. So that gap was a little unfortunate there, but I full sheep the Paladin there. Mage is our target of choice. He's on DR for another like 1 or 2 seconds there, trying to fake out this counterspell. Doesn't look like I quite get it there. Do get counterspelled in that re-polymorph attempt. Polymorph coming out from the mage. I still have kick. It looks like he juked me. No, I actually do land that counterspell. And they overlap that block and that sacrifice once again. Huge blunder by the enemy team because that's another primary defensive cooldowns. Another Hammer of Justice coming out onto the priest. I'm sheeping the mage so we can't sheep my priest again. So this is like so important. I told you guys about this last time, but when you're not doing a go, when you're stalling for a go, you want to sheep the mage and sheep the rogue so they can't do their goes as effectively. Look, my priest is sheeped. The mage is trying to get a resheep. I'm sheeping the mage so we can't get the resheep. Very, very important here. We don't have an AoE Fear quite available yet. That triple blind coming out from the Paladin. Looks like the enemy team's going to do a setup onto the Rogue. He's taking so much damage. I actually sheep the Rogue there and sheep the Rogue's Trinket. A little bit scary here. That was the Icy Veins from the Mage. My priest had the Trinket there, and I don't know if the Rogue blinded yet. So the enemy Rogue might still have blind, so that's very, very scary. Blind comes out on the Paladin. He trinkets immediately, bops the Mage here on our setup. My Rogue's in a little bit of trouble. Looks like he still has Trinket available, though. That Fear coming out onto the enemy Rogue, and the Priest gets full blinded up. And this is a pretty scary moment as well, because he doesn't have Trinket. He had a Trinket to save the Rogue. So what I should do is probably Ice Block at full HP. What I shouldn't do is Trinket, since I don't have Temp Shield, try to Trinket and save the block. But we'll see what I do. I might do both again as a mistake. Yeah, so I think if I can save my block here, it's actually great, but if I have to block too, it really sucks. So there's the blind into the sap, and that's that same mistake. I remember this game from yesterday. Same mistake as I did before. I trinketed to try to save my ice block, and then I had to ice block anyway. So now I have no trinket, no ice block. What I should save my trinkets for every time, guys, is to trinket counterspell the mage on a go. Trinket counterspell a polymorph so the priest doesn't get CC'd. But if I'm just trinketing, blinking away, don't have temp shield available, and I have to block anyway, not really the play. So another blunder by me here in this game in that same way. So I'll definitely try to keep that in mind next time I play a matchup like this to not make that big mistake again. But the Rogue has no trinket, the Pally has no trinket. We still have Smoke Bomb, so Smoke Bomb going on the Rogue is definitely an option for us, as he's off that stun diminishing return as well. Casting Frost Bolts, building up a ton of damage. Rogues over here, looks like we're going to be doing that. There's the Kidney Shot, there's the Bomb, there's the Icy Veins, there's the Orb, there's the Common Storm, there's the Ice Nova, and the Rogue goes down. Let's go ahead and replay that right at the end for you guys, because if you blinked, you probably missed it. Paladins on my focus, Paladins across the map, Rogue no trinket right next to us, Mage middle of the field, have Icy Veins, have Orb, have Common Storm, have Ice Nova, right? Get that Flurry proc, have 5 Icicles, Flurry, Ice Lance, Icy Veins, Orb, Common Storm. Rogue's completely deleted because he has no trinket. A little bit overextended there. Here's the damage breakdown. This time, the enemy team actually did more damage. They're playing much more offensive. We weren't actually looking too well a lot of that game, but then just boom, 100-0 in that Smoke Bomb, and that's how fast RMP can end games. Guys, I hope you enjoyed these games. I know I did. It's the first time I've played Frost in quite some time, so smash that thumbs up button if you like the Frost gameplay. Thumbs the video down if you did not like it, and talk to me down below in the comments about what you guys want to see for next time. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.